Hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today, we're looking at Misdreavus and Mismagius, and if you're going to be one of those people, I know that it's correctly pronounced Misdreavus, but I've been saying Misdreavus for 20 years, so it's kind of a very hard force of habit thing. So undo your panties, get them out of a twist, it's okay. No one's going to die. And lastly, because Mismagius exists, this will also be in the Sinnoh playlist along with Johto. So this was the first thing I saw in the spreadsheet when loading that up too. Hermione. It makes sense. I completely understand why your mind would go to that. If that's what you want, fine. Do I really care about it as a nickname? It's not one I would use, but I completely understand it, and it doesn't annoy me. So I think it's fine. I don't know. I just feel like there's better options out there, though, personally. I'm only going to acknowledge Hocus Pocus because we've talked about it, I think, during Alakazam's thing, where that was Abracadabra's beta name was Hocus Pocus. And it's kind of interesting how he tied it in with Mismagius somehow. So if you want, sure, but I feel like that's a little bit... I don't know if I'd say it's more associated with Abra or if it's less, because I don't know how many people actually know that tidbit. So it goes both ways. And I guess we got another one right in the next, Bellatrix, which that's a good name, another Harry Potter reference. I think that one works just as well as Hermione. And I think I like it better just because I like the name Bellatrix better. And she's hot. I'm noticing the pattern really quick. And I guess now I know what to expect for the rest. Blair Witch. I don't know if I'd do just Blair or if I'd prefer Blair Witch. The idea of it is, again, it's okay. It's fine. I get it. I understand why your mind goes to this. I'm just trying to think of, if I saw that, if someone sent out a Mismagius named Blair, I don't know if I would think Blair Witch. I mean, I understand why someone would. And I get that. I'm just thinking whether or not you would need both words or not. That's basically the internal debate. I'm positive we've seen Malice before in previous episodes. It kind of follows the same thing we've mentioned a lot of times. Bayonetta, Bison, and Biosix style. It's just a simple word, holds a lot of meaning. You could apply it to almost any Pokemon ever, and something like this will fit. Mismagius, it'll work because Ghost type and probably has some sort of bullshit with the Pokedex. I personally use it for my Salazzle, but yeah, I fully support the nickname idea. And then right below it, Banshee. I recall seeing this before, and I think I used this for Mismagius as just kind of a placeholder name until I find something better. It works. Again, I completely understand where people are coming from when they name it like this. Also works as the Screech Pokemon. I pray to God Mismagius isn't the Banshee Pokemon, I'll be mad. Thankfully it's not, so I don't look like a total idiot. But it works as a nickname, it's alright. I'm hoping to find something better to win my heart over and make me change it, because I'd like that. Despair works in the same wavelength as Malice, not really much extra to say about it. It works, it's totally fine, fitting for ghosts and dark types. I think the worst part about this is I actually kind of feel like Midna does work better for Misdreavus than Mismagius, because the hat thing. So I completely understand the nickname, and I think it works, but I think unless you are playing the first 3 generations, it's kind of going to be wasted because you're going to evolve it. So I get it, and it works as a nickname. You could ignore it and still use it anyway, and that's no big deal, but I definitely think it fits Misdreavus a little bit more. Mischief works the same way as Malice and Despair. Personally, I don't think the word is as strong, but you could use it, I guess. The only 2 on here I want to acknowledge is the Morgane. Honestly, when I saw it, I kind of misread it as Morrigan, and I know that name is some sort of video game character, and that's about the extent of it. So we'll acknowledge that for the Morgan Le Fay, because we've seen it in previous episodes. I'm pretty sure it was for Espeon. I don't fully remember, but I want to say it was. And then Nocturne, because I know we've seen that for Umbreon. It works. I don't really have much of an opinion on it. There's not really much to say, but if those appeal to you, there you go. I hate and I love Asparagus, because that's the stupidest name, but also the best name. And as weird as it sounds, I could almost picture that either being something Game Freak would make up, or just a fan game would make up, where it'd be like a grass and ghost Pokemon, and that's funny to me. We're seeing a lot of parallels here. Affection also works in the same wavelength as Malice, Mischief, and Despair. Personally, I wouldn't use it for Mismagius. I think that might be a little bit better for something like Clefable or anything that has cute charm, then sure, you could use it. Love Disc would be a good example, but Love Disc is a terrible Pokemon, so there you go. Alright, are you ready for some top level cringe? Because here we go. Witchcraft, which honestly, that's not that bad. Compared to the rest, it's still a bad nickname, still wouldn't recommend it to even my worst enemy. But Halloweena, Spooks, Jack-O-Treat, which I want to also acknowledge the date on here now that it's been brought to my attention. This was 2015, meaning that nickname could have worked for something like Pumpkaboo, if at any point you want your Pokemon to hate you as much as possible. Like, I wish that was a feature where the worse nickname you give it, the more effective frustration would become, because he would probably have a max frustration team. Spellcaster, Spellmaster, and Magica Hexer. They are all absolute trash, bottom of the barrel, garbage, 0 out of 10, negative infinity out of 10. Like, the worst, the least offensive is just Witchcraft, and that's not so much stupid as it is just plain and boring, while the rest is like offensively, criminally charged, stupid, bad shit. Yeah, Bayonetta works. Honestly, I don't know how many people are gonna think of that. Like, not that, like, they won't draw the connection, I mean that I don't think there are many people at all who think of witches, and what witch should I name it after, and then think of Bayonetta. That's what I mean. So as a result, that kind of has like an original nickname concept purely for the fact that, you know, there's lots of witches out there, so Bayonetta's not going to be the first choice. I think Hermione being a first choice is pretty obvious, but Bayonetta not so much. Yeah, I think it works. Honestly, when I first got Shuppet and Banette, I didn't really know how to pronounce its name, so I just named it Bayonet, so as a result I've never used Bayonetta as a name before. But yeah, Witch, Bayonetta. I guess we'll talk about Nevermore just because we've seen it in previous episodes. I do think it's a better idea to work for Honchkrow or Corviknight much more than Mismagius, but if for whatever fucking reason you feel like it fits, there's that idea too. Soul Sister is stupid and it made me smile, so I'm going to acknowledge that. Whether or not I'd use it, there's a high chance that I probably wouldn't, but it's still funny. Alright, we'll slightly acknowledge this. Rather than Enchantrum, Enchantress could at least work, because that's a character and that's a thing, so that's a 5 out of 10 if you're feeling that one. It's better than Enchantrum, so you had one foot in the door, and then you broke your leg on the way out. Alright, we've reached the bottom, and the thought occurred to me, not once have we reviewed like a ghost Pokemon thingy in the suggestions ever said Casper, and I'm kind of surprised at that. But let's check the spreadsheet real quick. The only one out of these I want to acknowledge is Miscreant, and I'm very, very on that. It's just like, well, that's different at least, but everything we've seen these two before. Banshee seems to be honestly the most popular choice out of all of them. But other words outside of Banshee, the ones I liked or at least felt were acknowledging, because we've already seen Hermione, and I feel like that's kind of a obvious choice. I like Bellatrix better personally, so I might stick with that honestly. And then I liked Bayonetta just for being something completely different that like I feel no one's normally gonna think of. So I really like it for that. Otherwise, there's not really much else to say. Like, there was some decent suggestions in there and stuff. Just Bellatrix is the closest to winning my heart. And even that, I'm still like, maybe one day something better will come across. But until then, this beats Banshee, in my opinion. So, yeah. Whatever your ideas and suggestions are for Misdreavus, because I've been saying it the other way the whole video, again, when you say the same thing for 20 years, it's kind of fucking hard to break that habit. So just remember that next time you flip out on someone. Name suggestions and ideas, and comments below, and thumbs up to good ones, and have a good day and stuff. Bye.